Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome to a Civ 6 mod spotlight on The Witcher mods. This one is on Jan Calveit, who is an alternative leader for the Nilfgaardian civilization. Now, Jan Calveit specifically is the Naziri Avenger. He gains +2 science, +2 culture, and +2 faith in cities not founded by Nilfgaard. After he completes a campus, a theatre square, or one of their buildings for the first time, he receives a great scientist, great writer, or great artist and musician points equal to the great person points the district or building yields whenever Nilfgaardian units defeat an enemy unit. I'm going to be totally honest with you, I have absolutely no idea what that means. And this is the only civilization overview for the Witcher mods that I read this before I actually played the Civ. But I have covered these other civilization abilities before. I'm really excited to try out the Naziri Avenger, but I have covered these other abilities, but let's go over them again, right? We have the administration of the provinces, which gives you a free builder every time you capture a city, and builders can spend charges to complete 20% of the production cost of all districts. And occupied cities have no yield penalties, and spies take no time to establish a presence in an enemy city. This makes them very, very good at aggressively attacking and taking over towns. If you combine that builder being able to build districts ability with the Nilfgaardian Imperial Camp, that actually becomes really quite powerful, because the Nilfgaardian Imperial Camp gives you +2 loyalty, +2 science for every building in the Nilfgaardian Imperial Camp. So that's like usually going to be a stable, because you're going to be building siege and cavalry as the Nilfgaard. And yeah, that's just like super, super powerful to give you tons of science, tons of gold, or tons of science, tons of culture, and tons of faith with all of these abilities. Now, all land units will also get an extra 25% experience, which will be very, very helpful for both the Fire Scorpion and the Nausicaa Brigade. The Fire Scorpion is a Nilfgaardian unique Renaissance era rapid deployment siege unit that replaces the Bombard. It's a Bombard with 3 movement that can move and attack forever. I think it also has a slightly higher combat strength and is available slightly earlier in the tech tree. Very, very powerful. I'm really looking forward to showing you the Fire Scorpion in action. We also have the Nausicaa Brigade, which is a hard-hitting Nilfgaard unique medieval era cavalry unit. It's basically a knight replacement with an extra 5 combat strength and 2 attacks per turn. And those 2 attacks completely slap, especially if you manage to get your hands on a great general. Overall, this is a slightly interesting take on the whole be aggressive version of the Nilfgaard. If you want to check out the other mod spotlights where I talk about the other leader for Nilfgaard, go ahead and check the links in the description of the video and in the comments of the video. There will also be links to the mods themselves, both available on the Steam Workshop and off of the Steam Workshop. There are links, there's actually links in the Steam Workshop of the mods that will let you get them if you don't have the game on Steam. So totally check out those links, and then keep watching if you want to watch me actually play this Civ. So I've kind of talked a little bit about these abilities, and then let's kind of like structure a game plan with them. And I think, like with the other version of the Nilfgaard, this is definitely going to center around a domination timing attack, but it's also going to have like a little bit of great scientist, great writer, and great artist built into it. So I think we're going to get at least 1 campus and 1 theatre square in our empire. We are still probably going to want to do a timing attack that is centered around the Fire Scorpion here at Gunpowder. And the really, really great thing about a Civ like this is you can just kind of figure out where's your unique unit and then scroll back through the tech tree to think about how I'm going to get here, right? So if I need to get to the Fire Scorpion, that means I'm going to have to build an armory, right? And that means I'm going to get to military engineering, because this is where the armory building is located. And this also gives me access to the trebuchet as well as niter, which is required for the Fire Scorpion. And then I can go back again, right? So I need to get an aqueduct to boost this technology. And then engineering is where the aqueduct is available. This could give me catapults. I could pre-build catapults. And then in order to boost engineering, I'll need to build ancient walls, which means I need to build a quarry. And you can kind of work your way back through the tech tree and figure out just exactly how you want to go about doing things. Now, similarly, we're probably going to want to, with this particular Civ, because of the way it works, we're going to want to pick up things like campus and theatre square. So what I'm likely to do is to make my capital city very much so a culture and science center, like a center of culture and science, as well as the government plaza. And so that's going to be like the opening move. Now, we have actually a really, really powerful start location. This is probably the best start location I've gotten. Oh my God, actually, we have our natural wonder as well. Okay, this is an insane start location. This is probably not going to be representative of a normal game as the Civ, but we already have Water of Life, which gives us 10 healing in any territory. That's insane, by the way. We also have very early access to spice. We have access to 2 tiles. I'm tempted to move down and right 1 tile. Yeah, that might be good. So basically what we want to do is we probably want to get a campus. And that looks like a reasonable campus. There's +4. It will probably go down. That'll be a +3. And then I'll probably put a theatre square here with a government plaza. This is kind of like the build that we're going to look for to do in this city. So I'm going to move down right one. That will be like the opening moves here. This is kind of the opening goal. So our capital is going to be a center of culture and science, while our other cities are going to be able to crank out units and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and settle in place. It took us a single turn to walk here, but that's fine. And I think a pretty standard opening of a scout and a slinger is like the safe DD opener, right? Because the scout lets you get arrow score. And I got a relic. Oh my god. Bro, I'm actually popping off right now with the free relics. Okay, honestly, this start is just cracked. Like, it's actually just cracked. I don't know what to tell you. We found a couple of city-states as well. This is ridiculous. I'm playing on DD, right? Like, yeah, this is not a drill. Like, this is a real game. So we found Lyria, who gives you +1 tourism for each level of appeal if a district is adjacent to a farm, and it'll also give +1 production to a farm if you're a suzerain of an industrial city-state. It's a really, really powerful thing. We also found Gemera, and they give you +5 combat strength to all units against free cities and +2 loyalty per turn in cities with garrisoned units. So both these are really happy. I'm very happy that I found them first. And there's Henselt. It's an honor to meet you. So he shouldn't be too far, and he's likely to be our target of a timing attack, if indeed we do decide to go for a timing attack. And we have the spices now. That's perfect. Let's take a little bit of a tile accounting here. We have a 4-2 tile, we have a 2-2 tile, and then a 2-1-1 tile. I think I favor production in the early game, so I'm going to lock in 2-2 tiles. Do I have anything that's better than a 2-2? I have a 1-3 tile, which I could probably honestly justify working with a 4-2 tile. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that and make sure that I'm working it to crank out food and production here. I think that's super worth it. The amount of tempo that I have right now is insane. So I do need to pick up these tribal villages as well. It looks like he's kind of forward settling. We'll see exactly where he goes. But there's huge potential here in our lands. Now, I do feel like a double settler opener here is pretty reasonable. I got a scout, I got a slinger. I think that's totally fine to go for fast settlers here. We are going to head for foreign trade to get access to traders. And we can also choose a pantheon. Now, taking a look at my starting location, there isn't really anything that gives you gold. I mean, I could go for religious settlements. That seems pretty powerful. I could also get a free builder. I don't really have tiles to improve. We did research animal husbandry, which was not what I was meant to research. I'm kind of tempted to do a commercial hub rush again. Yeah, you kind of need gold from some source. And I think doing a commercial hub rush is a reasonable choice. At least we'll head in the direction of a commercial hub rush. We do need to pick up... You probably need to get the bronze working reasonably early this game. Religious settlements... It's just always so good. It's so much tempo, but is it really that good? We don't care about anything that boosts holy sites. I'm not seeing enough specific tile improvement types. Like, I don't have a lot of camps. I do have a decent amount of pastures, but they're kind of out of my initial working tiles. This really does feel like a good game to go for a tempo play, like City Patron or Fertility Rights. City Patron could be quite good, actually, as a tempo play. It would let me get my commercial hubs up like a couple of turns sooner. I don't have tiles to improve. I don't need a settler. I think just getting a raw production boost here seems pretty based. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. And that should give my settlers that I make really, really good tempo when they're actually getting ready to build their districts. I don't need God King, so I will plug in urban planning, which is yet more tempo. And tempo is basically how fast your early game takes off. Like how fast you're going to scale into the mid and late game. But there is a barb here exploring my territory. We got an envoy, so if we do meet another city-state, we'll be able to make friends. And we need to think about where we're going to settle. And I think I want to settle for quality of land right now. Like settling the best city that I can. And if I'm looking around, it feels like on top of this Plains Hill over here is looking like the best quality I'm going to get, at least in the short term. More barb camps. There is a potential here for a golden age. I'm glad that I have access to the trader now. That's going to be an important thing to get to boost things, okay? Scout earned XP, not ideal. There's Hengfors, another city-state. The Hengfors League. Receive Golden Dragon Scales luxury resource. Cannot be earned in any other way and provides 12 amenities. That is super based. I think I would like to put an envoy in there, and I will. Just for that little tiny bit of extra faith. Having a little bit of faith can be quite meaningful. I really need to clear a barb camp or to find more stuff. Early Empire. So taking stock of this location here, while I would love to settle on this 2 food 2 production tile, If I do, I won't be able to settle adjacent to this spices, and that spices tile seems really good. Plus, this looks like it's kind of better positioned to be aggressive towards these guys, which I think works in my favor. We've also met Demavend, and he's down here. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit harder to justify. I think I'm going to step back a tile so that I can settle here. Yep. So I can grab this tile, and then this gets me like really, really high quality land. And it might be Demavend I decide to attack. Now, I will actually send a delegation to Demavend. You won't take it, damn it. Okay, so we'll have to play a little bit more carefully. Right, second settler is out. And now that we have our second settler, we can kind of think about tile improvements and improving my civilization and maybe building things. I definitely feel like 25 production builder is good. I think I want to get the trader though. So I just need one era score. I could trade with Lyria, which would get me an envoy with them, which would be +1 another culture. But I'm worried about that trade route. Instead, I'm going to put it into Darn Ruick and do an internal trade route maybe, or maybe even a trade route with Edern. So when I think about this city, I think getting a granary early will actually give me huge tempo because it'll grow more pop and work more tiles. So I'm going to go granary monument in here. I know it's a lot of turns, but I think it pays off relatively quickly. Let's go for early Pingala. Early Pingala always feels like the correct move because it gives you that 15% science and 15% culture in your city. Now, this settler will probably get captured, but I should be able to recapture it with my warrior because its movement will be stopped. So it delays the city by a turn, but that's not the end of the world. Careful positioning of your units can mean you can walk unescorted without getting attacked. Right, so we do have a golden age secured, which is really nice. I'm going to chop out that monument and immediately place the campus. That's a +3 campus, which is a step in the right direction. And we can settle our third city right next to the spices too, which is super ideal. There's a little bit of a loyalty problem in here, but that should be dealt with once we have the monument and stuff. So we have craftsmanship and access to iron. I don't see iron inside my territory, but that's okay. Nice, we have our first campus up now, and we should see our science go really, really well now. I will go ahead and build a library, because that's kind of part of this build that I'm going for. Exploratory style build. Plan this, probably just Nilfgaardian camp. Generate gold, and a Nilfgaardian camp too there. So something like this seems reasonable, I think. Although then again, you only need one there. It'll be fine like this. Right, so we have state workforce. So we want to get that government plaza up nice and early. It kind of formulates the baseline of our plans. So let's harvest that tile and place the government plaza. And in fact, I think this is actually a pretty reasonable spot for a commercial hub. So we can kind of move it over here, and that's slightly better. Now that I think about it, I would just have to buy this tile in order to swap it, which I think works fine for me. Let's continue to promote Pingala. We'll get Connoisseur because culture is like the most important early game yield. We definitely need to start thinking about the next wave of settlers. We're kind of finishing up our first districts and stuff like that, at least when it comes to the capital. And I also need to think about defensive military units, but there's currency, so that's our first district ready. So I'm going to use a builder harvest to harvest out a builder sooner, but that means I have to wait for masonry. So I'll just wait 3 turns on that one. We'll promote Pingala again with researcher. Is it time to settle? I don't think so. We might consider that after political philosophy. Speaking of political philosophy, we just researched it. And if I'm thinking about the best way to do this, having autocracy like giga capital has appealed to me. And then if I plug in Ilcom, well, I want to do colonization so I can make settlers actually. But something like this seems good to me. But yeah, let's get our next wave of settlers as planned. We're just waiting for the right moment. And I think, if I'm thinking about my timing attack, it's almost certainly going to involve building trebuchets and upgrading them into fire scorpions. So maybe mercenaries would be good. Although then again, maybe rushing monarchy could be good. Ooh, no, I think rushing serfdom actually is really, really good for this civ, especially if I'm getting free builders when I conquer cities. That might be the play. Okay, masonry is completed. I can come in here. Well, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to swap this. Yep, perfect. I'm going to harvest out the settler, place the commercial hub, perfect, like so. Finish that settler. I want to place the Nilfgaardian camp too to lock in their price, because when you place a district, their price no longer increases. We'll finish the settler and we'll get ourselves a commercial hub. Now that we have masonry, I'd like to pick up irrigation so that I can get some of these luxuries that are hanging around. And we'll go ahead and chop out another builder, perfect. And we'll make sure that we place the commercial hub to lock in that good price. It's all really kind of coming together now at this point. And I think I would like to get 3 settlers to basically, essentially, mitosis split my empire and double its size is what I want to do right now. So we're heading into a heroic era, and we'll have some pretty good options. Now, of all the heroic era options, actually all of them are really good for me. Free Inquiry would give me really, really good tempo because I am going for commercial hubs. Penbrush and Voice gives me a lot of culture, and the advantage of Monumentality is that I could spend my really good faith income from that relic to get a free settler and a couple of builders. So it's really just a matter of, I feel like Free Inquiry lines up better with my plans of all those decisions, although I think almost every decision there was valid. Now, if we think about it, a commercial hub here costs 48 production, whereas a builder costs 33. So it's actually cheaper to hard build the district, at least until districts get more expensive. So whether or not that'll change as the game goes on, we shall see. Now, one unfortunate thing is I don't have amazing land for settling down here, but I do have okay land. Like there's a city here, I think there's a city over here, and then there's definitely a city over here. So we'll just try and grab everything we can within reason. But I'm getting my amenities online. That should start to see this negative amenity go away. I won't be taking a 10% penalty on my cities anymore. So it looks like Henselt has denounced me. So I'm going to need to start thinking about how I defend myself against him. And it'll probably involve archers. Now, in order to get construction, I would like to get a watermill because that'll boost construction. And I also need to build ancient walls. And those sort of things should really be taking place in my capital. But I also need to find time to get a theatre square in here because that's part of my overarching plan. So I'm kind of like strapped for time here. I would like to delay the city from making a settler until it got to 7 population. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delay settlings just slightly for the purpose of placing that theatre square sooner. Nice, we've boosted mathematics, we've boosted everything. I just need to get a watermill in my capital and then I'll be 7 pop. I can place my theatre square and finish the settlers. Partia definitely is like monument granary, but I'll hard build a monument and maybe buy a granary in here when I have the gold, because I'm not too far off of buying it actually. There's engineering, so we can now start to produce catapults, although we're not quite ready for that. Good job, Darren Ruach, you got my market. Let's grab a trader and also get to work on the Nilfgaard camp. So we're not too far off now from our timing, and we need to start thinking about that seriously. So an aqueduct is definitely on the cards here. Man, I'm kind of crunched. I wish I maybe... Yeah, I'm kind of crunched for production right now. I should have 2 more. I should have these 2 settlers out already, but I can finally now place my theatre square as planned. And now that's locked in and I can finish these settlers. So slight delay on that front, but I think it worked out just fine. More builders are definitely in my future. I would love to trade with Lyria, but that's not on the cards right now. Unfortunately, none of the tiles that Partia could build commercial hub on are really available, so we'll have to live without that. We have lumber mill. We're just waiting for an aqueduct, I think. I think we can stop off for apprenticeship here. And now it makes sense to go for either Magnus or Victor, to be honest with you. And looking at my land, maybe this is a Magnus game. We go for 1 point Magnus so we can do chopping, because there's decent chops on some of these hills. And it's around about the time that we're going to start considering builders again. Okay, nice. There's the first Nilfgaard Imperial camp. Great. And I want to build stables. And the reason I want to build stables is so that I get extra combat military experience for cavalry and siege class units. And I have a unique cavalry and a unique siege class unit. So those line up really, really nicely with my bonuses. The city is at its housing limit. The stable will help with that, as with the granary, but I think I got to do this. Right, market completed in Winneburg. Let's get the trader and then move straight on to the Nilfgaardian encampment. Again, this is another city that would make great work out of a granary, but I just can't justify it right now. I've just got too much other stuff that I need to build. There's apprenticeship giving me extra production. Very nice. We'll get to work on military engineering. We're about to finish an aqueduct. That'll boost that. Buy the granary in this city so you can grow a little bit more reasonably. You just need builders, to be honest with you. Although maybe I can buy builders in here when feudalism finishes. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Pop down this city right here. Very, very nice. I don't actually want to work that. Food and production as your priority. Now, these later settled cities, they're not going to be critical for the war effort immediately, but what they will do is provide me with scaling power. They'll give me the gold and production that I need to sustain the war after it begins. So I have the stable, I have the Nilfgaardian Imperial camp. The only thing I'm missing now is to start pre-building catapults to be upgraded into trebuchets and fire thingy. So I'll start a couple of catapults now to get ahead of the game. Oh, lovely. We're starting to get great merchants who are going to give me extra trade route slots. We have the aqueduct. I think part of it is getting this theatre square. It kind of builds up our power level now. So where do I want to settle? Honestly, I think here on the cattle is quite good. It gives the city a 3 food 1 production tile, and I can immediately purchase a granary to bring it up to a 4 pop limit. And then likely I can fit another settlement over here. These won't be the greatest settlements in human history, but they can build 2 districts. And really the Civ only needs 2 districts per city to like start to pop off. I'm also trading off my resources to be able to buy builders in Partia. Oh shoot, I forgot to plug in the builder card, damn it. Oops, that was a waste of 2 build charges. Well, it's okay, we'll make up for that. Now we're going to head towards monarchy for chivalry. Maybe I want professional army first. I think I can... Yeah, professional army first seems kind of appropriate. Ooh. Now Zhang Qiang is one of the greatest traders you can get because it'll give +2 gold to trade routes to a city and also from a city. So this should actually net me quite a bit of gold. Trade routes to this city provide +2 gold to both cities. So theoretically, all of my cities now with trade routes to the capital should make a little bit more money. You know, my gold only went up by 2. I was expecting it to go up by more. Maybe I misunderstood how that works. We have military engineering, which means we have niter, or at least we know whether or not we have niter. And we did actually land niter over here. And since niter is going to be one of the limiting factors in us building our unique unit, that's going to be something I prioritize. And now we head towards stirrups and gunpowder. Okay, nice. First theatre square with 3 adjacency. There's military training. We're working on mercenaries. Let's get this amphitheatre and then we'll go for Warlord's Throne, and kind of all of our infrastructure is coming together to be ready to attack. And I do think that Henselt is the correct attack here, the Kingdom of Adern. Let's make sure we're building up our stables because they represent so much gold and culture and stuff like that. There's the Nausicaa Brigade. Now I don't have enough iron to really be spamming them out, but what I can do is theoretically I could promote Magnus with Black Marketeer to be able to make those in a reasonable time frame. But yeah, I need to get this iron online, I need to get this niter. Strategic resources are like a limiting factor for me right now. Which is a slight pain, but it's a growing pain. So we're actually going to delay gunpowder and take a moment here because we got to it very, very quickly. We're going to head towards printing because eventually we do want printing for the diplomatic visibility, and we don't have our units pre-built yet, but we're way ahead of schedule technologically, so we can take that time to do this. Plus we don't even have our classical or medieval, ideally medieval. Yeah, we want a medieval era great general. We don't even have a classical one yet. So we're super ahead of schedule. So we can kind of take our time to kind of back off a little bit and do other things. But now, like a builder gives me 5 build charges and costs 37 production, whereas a district costs a little bit more. So I think now is the time to switch to making builders instead of like raw building my commercial hubs. I think it's safe now to trade with Lyria. 6 gold per turn plus that. And the city of Stygia needs to go for a commercial hub. And I think this tile over here, even though I'm crushing a pretty good tile, +2 gold is huge. I think monumentality is fine as a bonus here. There's Coleus, the great merchant. He'll give us access to an extra copy of a strategic resource. There is actually some, or luxury rather. There's a couple over here to the north that might be worth getting my hands on. We have the stable. Let's get the armory. 3 production, 2 science, 2 culture. Very, very good. This city also needs a builder, actually. Let me just quickly crack out builders. I've got a lot of unimproved tiles. I need to upgrade my land. Right, we have mercenaries, so we can upgrade units cheaper. It's perfecto. Now that we have mercenaries, we want to move towards divine right. That's the next part of our timing. We're going to take suzerainty of Lyria because it's also technically a potential target for levying for extra military power, although it's quite a bit away from Adern, who I've decided is like my likely first target. We do have machinery and we're 8 turns away from printing, and we're about to be ready to start attacking. Now I actually don't want Sun Tzu, I want a medieval great general, so I want Timur. So I'm probably going to expend Sun Tzu. Will this guy give me open borders, I wonder? No, he hates my guts. I'll just go grab those. We got our first copy of Iron online, which is fantastic. We'll get another copy of Niter online soon. Everything is starting to coalesce in a really, really nice way. All the meeting points are coming together. We can, of course, build a Nausicaa Brigade if we wanted to, but I think trebuchets first are the most important thing. And once we have printing, we go straight gunpowder. That's just the next step. I don't think we need Black Marketeer. I think I would rather go for Victor and put him in Darn Ruach so that any units I train here will have an extra promotion. I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to do. I'm missing a trader is one thing, and I can use my capital maybe to make builders and help out other cities. So good work at the capital. We have essentially finished the capital. At least as far as I understand how the civs work, I'm pretty sure building... I'm pretty sure this is the correct way to do things, so now I'll get great people points for killing things, and I think that's what I want. Now, I don't think going for a wonder here makes the right move, but spamming out builders definitely means I can focus these cities on other things. Theoretically, I could build like Nausicaa brigades and maybe, you know what, maybe a trebuchet or two out of my capital does make sense. But honestly, spamming builders would take so much production pressure off my other cities. My markets are completing left and right. Right, civil services completed. We do have the ability to do alliances, but that's not going to be part of our game plan, at least not right now. I definitely feel like I should improve tiles that my city is actually working. That seems like a completely reasonable choice to make to upgrade its power level. And anything that is just like a hill should get a mine on it now. So we finished the armory over here. We do have access to a third district, but that's not the goal. The goal here is to crank out military units. So who would be the easiest target here? Maybe Cadwin. Maybe Cadwin would be the easiest target. They have the lowest science and the highest culture. So actually, you know what? I think Cadwin might be the correct attack here. They're closest to me. They're near where my units are. I should be able to push them. I have really good loyalty pressure in the area. We'll go for Cadwin. Finally, we have access to printing. That's an extra +3 combat strength. We can switch into Divine Right. Everything is lining up. The timing attack is about to start. We can plug in Chivalry. We can plug in Conscription. And yeah, there she goes. We're ready now. Essentially, ostensibly, we are ready. Now we just click on nationalism and go straight for cores while we try to sustain this war machine. And honestly, this feels like a war machine that sustains itself. At least insofar as the Civ plays. Right, another free trader unit. I'll take that. Thank you very much. I'm a little bit light on traders, but I'm very happy with the position. So now that I can't complete a trebuchet before gunpowder finishes, I'm going to start making Nausicaa brigades, and this is going to start to eat up my gold income, which is where this card is going to come in handy. The caravansaries, that's going to help me out a lot. But mostly pillaging. Pillaging is going to have to be a big part of my game plan. So I need to save gold. So I think 4 trebuchets is like a healthy amount to open a war with. So I want to upgrade to the Fire Scorpion, but I have to wait one turn until I can plug in the 50% discount on resources and gold, and then I'll be able to mass wave upgrade these, and we're just now about ready to declare war. I cannot wait to do it, man. And I guess the follow-up to Fire Scorpion probably naturally be like Cuirassier, or maybe Military Academy would be the natural follow-up. No, it'd probably be Cuirassier. Yeah, probably be Cuirassier. Okay, let's get started. We will come in here. I will drop serfdom for a turn, plug in professional army and retinues, Fire Scorpions for 30 gold and 5 niter, although to be fair, that's because I'm playing on a high game speed. So there's the 4 Fire Scorpions ready to go. We have our first Nausicaa brigade as well. And I think, how long until the denouncement ends? So yeah, we can declare war next turn. And just absolutely storm them. Look at this. This is a 4 movement Fire Scorpion. It gets an extra 75% extra experience. And it generates great scientist and great rider points every time it kills. It's so good. Wow. Okay, I really like this build. But yeah, now we want to keep following it up with a mixture of Nausicaa brigades and Fire Scorpions. Right, let's declare the formal war with Henselt, the Kingdom of Cadwin. Boom, boom. And then let's begin moving in. Ooh, he's got his done banners, but I'm not worried about that. I have my Nausicaa brigades, which should do the job of blunting the effectiveness of those units, especially when we've got really, really good support bonuses. I did research military tradition. Okay, ever since I made that mistake, that it's been haunting me. Oh god, did I remember to research that, like really important technology? I hope so. So the goal of the Nausicaa brigade is to stand in front of the Fire Scorpions and protect them. So you probably want to be very heavy on the Fire Scorpions and very light on the other things. Ooh, it would be kind of fun to build a terracotta army, and it would only take me 9 turns, especially in a Magnus city that I could chop out of and give all these units an extra promotion. I like it. And now I can start using my builders to actually finish things like commercial hubs and new districts when I conquer. Okay, Nausicaa brigade. And we want to look for pillages to boost our army. I definitely feel like that should 100% be part of our plans. I mean, look at these things, just absolutely shred. I mean, shred. But for the purposes of the original overview footage, like, look at those barracks, man. +2 culture, +2 science on every single one of these district buildings. You cannot look at that and tell me that that's not good. Honestly, this just feels like a really, really fun and well-designed civ. Right, double attack with the Nausicaa brigade. Can I bring the Great General over to make this a surefire thing? Okay, I want to get that builder back because builders are super valuable to me. But yeah, I love that I get great people points from attacking and killing things like Is anything left to pillage in the city? Yeah, there's still a couple of hills and stuff, so I can delay taking the city another turn. Because remember, I get a free builder when I conquer a city, which means pillaging improvements just takes time to fix, which makes it super valuable to pillage. But yeah, this timing attack is super insane, and I definitely feel like I've gotten better at doing it. Having practiced with a couple of different civs in the mod. Pillage the trade route. So you're ready for a promotion. Crew weapons. You're not ready for a promotion. And then we should be able to take the city. Yoink. And also I'm getting the pyramids out of this city. Amazing. This should be a big swing in my favor, actually. And then I can just run around with this free builder that I just got and actually repair all these tiles. Amazing. So let's make sure we have serfdom plugged in forever. Retainers is probably important as well. Although maybe town charters or caravansaries would be more important than urban planning. And I think that might be right, actually. I think town charters for now. I think the gold is more important than other things. And veterancy to be able to build up my districts faster. Nice. There's the terracotta army, boosting up all of my units. And I don't think I actually need much bigger of an army here to take on these guys. I think I have essentially as big an army as I require, and everything's just going to come down to positioning and getting people where they need to go. Let's get to work on the intelligence agency, because spying seems like something that the Nilfgaardians are very, very much on board with. I'm trying to think what the follow-up to, like, Commercial Hub Nilfgaardian Imperial Camp that basically covers everything I need from my civ. Like, why would I build other districts? Like, maybe a diplomatic quarter, sure, but I really don't see a need for it. Like, what is the reason for me to not just continue to spam Nausicaa Brigades and Fire Scorpions? I don't see a reason not to. I'm in my window of power and I should continue to reinforce it. One thing I should definitely do is buy Spearmen in all of my back cities for amenities. I'll have to change my government next turn to truly take advantage of that, but I think that makes sense to me. Now, it's not like this guy has a wimpy army. He actually has a bigger army than me. It just seems to be a matter of actually bringing that army to bear effectively. Now, I wonder if this military emergency is going to go against me. Okay, it failed. So that's good. Let's go ahead. I'm going to take out veterancy, and instead I'm going to plug in retainers so I can have those amenities. And now we have access to a golden age. I don't even know how I got a golden age. I'll be real with you. But we can maybe do reform the coinage and trade with city-states. Yeah, that's probably the best move. Or Exodus the Evangelists. Are there still religions on the go? No, all the religions are gone. Yeah, I'll go for reform the coinage. It should get me a little bit more cash from trading with other civs. I really like the idea of a civ that, like, builds up a lot of power from killing enemy units. In terms of, like, grey people. Like, the grey people from killing enemy units thing is really, really cool in my opinion. So I'd like to get siege plus 5 combat strength, because that would make this war so much easier, because I would just absolutely shred my way through enemy cities. Okay, so it did pass. And yeah, okay, right. Let's have a look. Okay, we have a little bit of enemy units to deal with. Now, that's mainly the domain of the Nausicaa Brigades, which is what they're going to do. Like, you get a little bit of... You just get that little bit of a grey people points from fighting with these guys, which is just really, really cool. I like that idea that, sure, it's not a huge, insane game-breaking amount, but you just get that little scooch of extra grey people points from fighting as this Nilfgaardian leader. Right, we're blasting down another city, and the wonderful thing about these Nausicaas is they can attack twice, so they can just rip through certain areas. Oh man, that's a lot of heavy noise coming in from the east. But I'm pretty sure we've, like, completely obliterated this civ. And I feel like this is, like, a good enough example of why this civ works. I think this is a really good overview. Playing on from now on, that would just really just be a showcase of late game domination. What I really feel like I got to show off, though, is how this civ works, right? That it actually fundamentally, if you play around its bonuses, even though you're playing against the deity AI, you can break. And, like, this is no slouch. Like, this is an actual army that, like, I can't one-shot these units. It's going to take me a bit of time to clear these out. But even clearing them out, I have significant bonuses and advantages for doing so. So yeah, they're just, it just works. It's just, like, you know, not to be a Todd quoter, but it just works. It seems to have what it takes to be an interesting, fun civ. And I hope you guys check out the mod. I love you all very much. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.